All right, all week long, we have been on this sprint of execution. I hope it's been helpful for you. It's definitely been helpful for me. And today we are going to talk specifically about how to ask for a sale, and then how to ask again, and then how to ask again. Let's get into it. All right, so to this point, yesterday we talked a little bit about the fact that you need to ask for a sale, but to this point, we have not asked for a sale. Okay, we have developed, going back to Monday, we have developed, assets through our outbound challenge. So we've tried to go and find the right types of people to talk to in order for us to be able to develop the content that we need to develop. We have set up all of those pieces in a fundamental structure so that, and we know what the math is, how many pieces we need to publish, what ads we need to run so that we have a pipeline developed, right? We have talked yesterday about what that content, once they come to your site, needs to look like so that it answers the questions that they have in an inbound fashion. And then today, we need to talk about how to effectively ask for a sale. So we touched on this yesterday, but to this point, you have given. You've given them great conversations with experts. You've educated them, inspired them. You've given them stuff to aspire to. You have introduced them to new people who maybe they didn't have exposure to before, but are now going to help them along their journey. And if someone, then you've answered all their questions, et cetera, et cetera. If someone has stuck with you through all of that, then they are more than likely interested in actually having you help them with more than just a free resource to answer their questions. Right? You've done so much work to this point that you've actually outworked their appetite for just free stuff. Now you've developed in them an appetite to come and to actually engage with you. It's the whole Costco sample thing, right? Like they put out those samples at Costco because you can only eat so many free samples. And then over time, you're going to develop an appetite and want to buy whatever it is that they're offering. Unless you're my dad, he would take us there on Sundays and he would, I think, have an entire meal on the free samples. But normal people is who we're talking about here. Normal people. So you've given. Now here is how to effectively ask. Okay. First of all, you need to think of it, reframe in your mind. And we talked about this yesterday, the fact that asking for a sale is not really asking for anything. It's exposing your customer to the value that you have to offer, whatever that might be, whatever it is that you as a brand have to offer. If it's a really fancy pen, if it's a service, a marketing service like we do that you offer. If you think of asking for a sale for a really fancy pen as, man, I'm going to spam them and try to sell this really fancy pen again, you're going to fail. It's going to come out in the way that you talk. It's going to come out in your messaging. If you think of it instead as, I'm going to allow my customer base the opportunity to buy this really fancy pen, and you talk that way and you expose them to your value that way, it's going to change the way that they perceive you as a brand. I have tons of examples I'm not going to name of companies who are selling essentially the same thing as some of their other competitors, but this messaging twist of pretending like it's an important asset versus somebody else who just says the functional, capabilities of the thing, and it makes a huge difference in terms of brand and in terms of sales. So reframe in your mind what you're actually doing, and then create systems that help you to ask for the sale over and over again. Okay. So once you've initially asked for the sale, hey, this is what we're doing. This is what we have to offer. Do you want to buy? They have a chance right there to say yes or no. If they say yes, great. They're in your CRM. You'll continue that relationship and make sure you do continue that relationship. Make sure that's not the last time they hear from you, but that's a separate topic. If they say no, that's okay. They're still interested and they've still consumed all of that content to this point. So you have their interest to some degree. They just aren't ready to buy yet. But you need to give them a reason to remain as a part of your ecosystem, regardless of their answer. So there's 3 ways you can do that. You can offer them new value. So, hey, here's something new you haven't heard, or something new that you haven't had access to before. You can offer them more value. Hey, here's all the different things that we've done and we've bundled them together for you so that you can have them all in one place, right? So more of the same or better value. And this is the one that I really like, where you go deeper with those audiences, even deeper than you've already gone. You've already given them so much value in the journey to this point. And now you say, hey, you don't want to buy it? That's okay. Here's something even better. Here's something even deeper so that you can continue to build that interest with them and that relationship with them and that trust from a distance. So one way to do this is through email sequences. Okay. You have an abandoned cart. You said no to the sale, but listen, you're getting access to, because you downloaded our PDF, blah, 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 whatever it is, you're getting access to our 5-day or 4-week or whatever it is cycle on how to accomplish X. Okay. So now you're taking some general information that you had already given them. You're making it very specific and very outcome based, and you're delivering it to them completely for free in their inbox for a certain given time. Right? Or you're giving them access to a private YouTube or a private podcast feed where, hey, this is for qualified buyers only. Okay. And so you are a qualified buyer. You've demonstrated that to this point. And so now you get access to this channel where you can hear even deeper insights or more important conversations or whatever it might be. This could be that you build a community in Facebook or Slack or Discord, and you invite individuals who have self-identified through their actions online to be a part of the core group that needs to be engaging in the conversations that are happening there. Lots of different, I mean, you could offer them a chance to buy in a lower price setting. I wouldn't use this all the time, but maybe for folks who have been a part of the email list for 12 months, you're going to offer them a one-time event or a product rather than a new product that you're going to sell at a discount rather than the core offering. Again, I wouldn't do this all the time, but I think it's something you can think of in terms of offering them better value, going deeper with them in asking for the sale. And the one thing I would say is you have to continue talking to them over time. Email drip campaign is great. That's why the community idea is so great, because having some way to remain top of mind, even though you've already asked for the sale and they weren't ready for it at the time, like we talked about earlier, it's all about value exchange, and they have identified you as a potential source of value. You need to continue to keep them wanting that value, and eventually the good customers will convert. Some customers won't convert. Those aren't good customers for you. If they did convert, they would be the ones that would have all of the problems that you spend 80% of your time on rather than actually making money. So that's okay. We're not trying to push people to buy who don't fit, but those 20% of people who actually fit, we want to give them every chance to buy and to become part of the program. So this was a little bit different. I'd love to hear from anyone who listened to all 4 of these, what you thought of this. We tried to get a little bit more practical. This is the journey, honestly, and the exercise that we are going through internally as we head into 2022. So tried to make it more practical. If you enjoyed this, let me know. If you didn't, feel free to unsubscribe. Either way, we'll see you next week.